Ooh, what is that? Rapid fire. Ooh, why's that there? Why is that there? Good evening, everybody. How's everyone doing today? And welcome to another episode of He Said, He Said, He Said. A look at the world from a seasoned Black man's perspective. I am your boy Alvin, and I'm here for another week with you guys. And thank you for joining us tonight. Our show tonight is Finding Love in the Time of Corona, Dating, Deal Breakers, and Tips. And I know you all, I know you all know about that. But something that you may not know, uh, how to date was the most searched phrase in DC this week, according to Google. Yes, it was. How to date. And nationally, searches for how to date are at a 5-time high. Again, this is my surprise face. I am not surprised by this at all, but I do want to share with you that, in my opinion, there are two things that I think that I keep close to me as it pertains to dating, and especially now, and that you're never to anything. There's never to anything that prevents you from dating or finding love. I am at that beautiful season age where many would think, why are you out here trying to find love and this, that, and the other? But I'm going to thank God for my little inner child that keeps Alvin in his little young space. But, dating is out there and it's for everyone. Do not, sabotage yourself to think that is not for you, because there's something out there for everybody. And the second thing that I want to tell you is, if you love yourself and love who you are, and if you treat people how you want to be treated, there's a strong chance that you're going to find your soulmate. Believe me, believe me. And I know that also to be true. So again, tonight, we're talking about dating and relationships in this COVID climate. And we're sharing with you what some of the relationship experts are saying out there. Our discussion tonight will be in two parts. We're going to share tips about getting out there, jumping in the relationship pool, and we're going to share deal breakers for deciding, whether you should stay in one or not. Life is too short, ladies and gentlemen, to spend it with someone who isn't worth your time. You hear what I said? And if your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, fiance, shacking up partner, non-committal boo, if any of them is controlling, annoying, or won't even give you the time of day, then it's time to call it quits. You do have options. And I know this is difficult for some people who just can't tell people goodbye or leave you alone. But believe me, your future self will thank you when they found someone who is better for them. Trust me on that. Well, I'm not going to belabor this anymore because we need to get to our topic, but I can't do it without two of the most seasoned men that I know, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the He Said stage. Saladin Dare and Mr. Vash Bodhi.
Hello. Hey,
How
Alvin.
you, how you are you really reading Cedric's book?
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
hey everybody.
You are silly. How are you
Yeah.
guys doing tonight?
Doing all right. I'm all pumped up after that introduction and speech. Now I need to go find somebody. I'll be back.
Well, no, you sit right here for the next 58 minutes, okay? Because
This is
we
a
need to
learning
share.
opportunity for me.
Oh, come on. Some of you have dated more than, well, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't assume that you've dated a lot. But I know for me, at 62, I've seen a lot of different types of dates. Okay.
Mhm.
So I can I know I have something to share, and especially after looking at some of what these relationship experts have said,
Yeah.
I got some questions for them. Hell, I do. I want to know. But before we get to our topic tonight, I wanted to have a little chat with you guys. Did you all hear that the Supreme Court refused to immediately block the Texas law that banned most abortions after 6 weeks, and
Yeah,
they
it's
won't
disgusting.
hear any more arguments until November 1st. Can you believe that?
Yes, because Judge Clarence Thomas is trying to overturn stare decisis and turn back so many decisions of the Supreme Court. This has been coming, so I'm not surprised that they did this at all. More things are coming.
Horrible.
Good evening, Blue. Good evening, Derwin. Thank you guys for joining the show. And also, guys, let me say that poor Texas. Okay.
Yes.
All that I just want to say, poor Texas. It doesn't make any damn sense. And I just think that if I hear about somebody trying to take more rights from us, I think I'm going to explode. Okay, so that hearing that today, all I could say was, poor Texas. My heart goes out to Texas and the people of Texas. All right, so just wanted to say,
everybody, because there are already other states that are following the path that Texas is, and it's just going to be a matter of time before many other states adopt these same sort of 6-week no abortion kinds of legislation. It's kind of frightening.
It just makes you go.
Most women don't even know if they're pregnant at 6 weeks.
Right.
Well, right, and what about the woman who was raped? And I mean that's also a part of it that I just go, oh Lord, okay. How you doing, Bonnie? Bonnie Deans. I'm sorry, she said African American newspapers in the house. Thank you, Bonnie, for joining us tonight. Thank you for being here. Speaking of ladies and gentlemen, I know you all have been following this Bryant Laundrie story. And this week they found his remains, but the tripped out part of it was
allegedly.
I was about to say his remains.
For me,
allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly. But the tripped out part for me was that his family, after he's been missing for all this time, they could tell the authorities exactly where his remains were. Something is sketchy about that. I think they I'm sorry, I said it in the post this week. They should lock them all up. Lock them all up for messing with the investigation. But the police should also know that they have blood on their hands too, because
something sketchy is happening down there in the country, in Florida. I smell entitlement and privilege all over it.
All over it, you think? Even in the grass, you think? Yeah. Entitlement, privilege, everything, because he should have been locked up. Or why they let him go? So many things about that story is just ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh. And we still don't know if he's dead or alive, to be honest with you. They said he found his teeth allegedly, so I guess we have to go with that, right? I guess we have to go with it, right? Okay.
Until the investigation shows something else, it's just amazing that all of this is playing out in very, very public ways.
In a very crazy, messy way. What did he say? Blue said, make note, vote for your local state representation. I'm sure that was in regards to this Texas law.
Yes.
The abortion law.
Absolutely. Well, I do have one more piece of little chat for you guys so we can draw in this dating conversation thing. One of the things in my research of what these experts are saying, they haven't said anything about this. So I'm going to ask you this question. What would you assume a date is telling you the truth about his or her COVID vaccine status? And if not, would you ask them to prove it? And I want to hear from YouTube viewers. And if you need me to repeat, just say repeat. But I need to know. Repeat. Repeat that? Okay.
Please.
Would you assume that this new date that you're going on is telling you the truth about his or her COVID vaccine status? And if you didn't believe it, would you ask them to prove it?
For me, it would depend on how they said that they were vaccinated when the topic came up, because people are going to tell you and give you signs about how they feel about the whole COVID experience and the vaccination before they even tell you whether or not they're vaccinated. So it depends on how we lead up to that conversation. So like when your computer says, click here to make sure that you're not a robot, how it looks at what you did before to tell what you're doing. That's how you do it. Like, how you feel about COVID? Oh, it's fake. Are you vaccinated? Yes. I would not believe that.
Right. And to that point, and to Vasha's point too, like if I am sort of setting up a date with someone that I've been chatting with, if I, in the second conversation, if what you're saying to me or have said to me doesn't add up or doesn't make any sense, I'm going to assume that what you say is a lie and we will not meet face to face.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Well, my take on it, and ladies and gentlemen, this is across the board, okay? It doesn't matter if you're gay, straight, non-binary, it's across the board. This question and this whole topic tonight that we're talking about is across the board. So please feel free to chime in. Regarding this question though, yes, I'm telling you, I will ask you to prove it. But it may not be on the first date or, but well, it depends. And it depends because I'm not having you come to my house anyway on no first date. Okay. So you ain't coming to my house. And so when I ask you, are you vaccinated, depending on your body language and everything that, I pick up from you, I'm going to leave it there. But I will ask you, if you tell me that you are, prove it. Show me your card.
Now I have a question. Do you ask people on a first or second date about their HIV status or if they have any STIs or STDs? So my second question to that is, do you ask them to prove it if they say no?
Well, I'm going to put it this way. When it comes to, and I'm going to say, because you brought this up in the same vein as COVID, I don't look at HIV and COVID as the same thing. I don't see that you can protect yourself from getting HIV. You can't really protect yourself from getting COVID. You can protect yourself from getting an STD, but you can't protect yourself from getting COVID. So in terms of asking them, I probably won't ask them because I'm going to protect myself all the way around. That would be my response to you.
Yeah. Cynic DC said, men lie about a lot of things. Why would COVID status be any different? That makes me chuckle. That's true.
And to that, the devil is a liar.
But to that point, that's why I would ask them for their card. Okay, so because people lie about everything. Okay,
well, people have artificial cards as well. So if they're going to lie, they may take that lie thoroughly through to all the way, making a card that tells you that they're vaccinated.
But so, that's when you get ready to say that's when the can of whoop ass come out. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not going to say any more curse words. I know that's probably a curse word. I'm sorry. But I was thinking of a horse when I said that. Okay.
Well, how would you prove it though? So how would you prove that their vaccination card was real?
Well, I'm not going to be that much of a, I'm going to, if you go that far, then you've given me your word. That's also a part of relationship. You have to find how you can trust somebody, and for me, trust would begin right there.
Totally.
And so it would start right there. So I would do that. So you guys ready to jump into the topic tonight? Thank you guys for the chat. I appreciate it. Are you guys ready to jump in?
Oh, absolutely. We already have some people that are just like waiting for us to talk about this so they can get dating. Cynic DC is one of them, saying, hey. And Leah, there was Leah who said earlier that she needed to hear your opening statement, Alvin, which, like I said, was extremely inspirational and filled me with hope. Leah? So, we are all waiting to get into this.
Yeah, and Leah, after the show, you can definitely go to our YouTube page and like our YouTube page. He said live, and I promise you it will be there, and my opening will be there. But thank you so much for that. So, okay, ladies and gentlemen, the coronavirus pandemic has flipped the dating world upside down. And instead of the traditional after-work drink, singles experimented with virtual dates and masked walks. Any physical touch, even a hug, required a conversation first. Many daters self-quarantine for weeks just to have a meal inside with someone. It was a lot of work. It was, but those rigid COVID-19 dated rules did provide a framework for seeking romance during a pandemic. And now that about half of the American adults are fully vaccinated, the traditional in-person first date is returning, and many of us are clueless about it. Okay, we don't even know how to go about it. So we thought that we'd go to some experts and see what they were saying. So we want to give you 7 tips that the experts are saying about jumping back into the dating pool. So I'm going to give the first tip they said is virtual dates are still a thing. Okay, I agree. I agree, but I was doing that before COVID.
Seriously, I mean, with online dating, that sort of virtual chat thing, and then doing like a video date thing. Yeah, I love that that's still a thing. Have you guys done any of those this year?
I have,
No.
and I think it's important. First of all, especially on the whole social media tip, I have to hear your voice. I have to see your face. All this, you guys. I mean, text you every time you turn around, you got a ping, 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 and you're like, can you just pick up the phone and call and talk? So I'm all for the whole virtual meeting thing, even during COVID dating that we're in right now. So the second.
Well, I have a question then.
Okay,
so,
go
what
ahead.
is virtual dating? Sorry for taking this. What is virtual dating then? Is that just a phone call, or is that a Zoom thing where you're sitting there, perhaps having a meal together, perhaps?
Yes.
A beverage.
It is all that. All of the above. All of the above.
Okay.
All of the above. Yeah. Sometimes I read about it. I didn't go further into it, but like they have these different tips for virtual dates, how you can enhance your virtual dating, meaning that you can play games or play cards or have a cooking night, for example, or sit there and watch the same movie.
Right. Okay.
A movie night. Yeah. So it's all. Now I haven't gone that route. I'm telling you, I just want to talk and see what's going on. You know what I'm saying? I haven't, but I don't oppose it. I think that it's a good idea to do. It helps you see what the other person thinks too, or what they like.
Well, and if you can hang out with them.
Yeah. Well, I would certainly turn someone off very easily if we decided to have a virtual date movie night, because I would pass out in the first 15 minutes of the film.
No matter what it is?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
You would be...
Anytime after 6 p.m., they would be like, this person is a real uncle, and I'm not interested.
Okay, right. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm just going to go back and acknowledge someone. Bonnie Dean said that it's nothing wrong with asking for your vaccination card. And so I thank you, Bonnie. I totally agree with that. One of the other points that they make for getting back out there is to be upfront with your date and slow down. Okay.
What does that mean?
Yes.
Be upfront with your date about what?
Well, that's what when I read that, I'm glad I got my seasoned men on here, because I wanted to hear what you all have to say, because be upfront. Does be upfront mean that you disclose everything? And I mean, I think there are things that you should disclose upfront if you go on a date, but then I got a caveat to that. And one of the things you should be upfront about whether or not you just got out of a relationship. You know what I'm saying? I think you should be upfront about that. Like my significant other just died, or I just, this is my first date after being in a 30-year relationship. Okay.
Actually, I don't know that I want to hear anything about anyone's ex or prior relationship prior to like meeting them. And I just want to know what unfolds as the date unfolds, more so than someone dumping a bunch of stuff on me.
Right.
I had a date with someone where literally before we sat down and the waiter gave us our menus, they said, I want to have children. And if I do, I'm going to be the parent, not you. I was just like,
Whoa.
whoa. I
Check,
was like,
please.
Whoa.
I should
Whoa.
have said that. I should have said that. But I was like, double martini,
Whoa.
please. I need a double martini.
Well,
I mean, it was just,
that's crazy. I was on a date, this was years ago, and I was on a date with this guy, and we spoke on the phone several times, and we finally agreed to meet for dinner. And, you know, he presented very well. Lovely guy, great job. But we sit down at the restaurant, before the appetizers even came out, he told me that he was drugged once and was gang raped at a party. I told that waitress after I finished my cocktail, I said, you can cancel my appetizer, because I didn't want to hear anything from that point on. So I think be upfront with your date and slow down is a little bit of a nebulous statement. And I agree with Vosh. There are certain things that I do not want to hear on a first date. But Alvin, I do agree with you. I think I wouldn't want the person to dump it on me 10 minutes after sitting at a table before our cocktails
No.
even come. But I would
Right.
like to know, are you interested in pursuing a long-term monogamous relationship? But a lot of other things I would not want to hear, especially you being, raped, wink, wink, at a party.
Right. Well,
was there with the
and
wink.
I to Vosh's yeah, I don't want to hear that either about how many boyfriends or girlfriends you've had or whatever, what relationships you've ever been in. I don't want to hear that, but I'm going to ask you, I know, doing part of a general discussion, have you dated before? Because that is, I've known people who have approached me, and I've been in relationships where I was the first person they've dated. No more will I do that. That is like a no. I will,
Yes.
so I'm not going to do that. So, I get it. I don't want to hear that either. And I guess that takes us to
Wait,
our
Alvin, were
third
these
point.
people who had recently come out, or they had been on the something stroll for most of their life?
Well, I'm just going to say these are people who have never dated someone like Alvin.
Hey now.
And so I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say that they've never dated someone like me, and I was there first.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, so
And
be upfront and slow down seem like they're conflicting.
well, yeah, and also and we're gonna move on, but Vosh, for what you said that person did, said to you, slow down was completely in order. It was like, calm down, or if you want, slow down, calm down, screech, bring it to a halt. Let me see. What is it? Blue said the first date is very general to feel a person out, to see what you like or don't like. And Derwin said conversation is key in the initial phase of the dating process. Completely agree. So that brings us to the third point that our experts say: find a way to talk about your values, which I'm completely on board with that.
Yeah, I think this is a great one. And I think too, I also find, going back to my point about the date that I had many years ago, when I'm on a date with someone, a first date, I don't want to hear about your sexual escapades, your previous sexual escapades, because that tells me what your values are. So I think that finding a way to talk about your values in terms of, and being general, but politically without, going too deep. But I think this is a great point, and I would utilize something like this.
Yeah, I definitely, I do. I find way to talk about my values, and a lot of my values show up in how I present myself also. So I think a person who is out on a date with me, they're going to see that, or either think that that I brought my what do you call it? I brought a representative, or this is really Alvin showing up, but I'm gonna let them figure that out.
Yeah.
Keep the work talk to a minimum. I agree, but in DC, I hear that is a topic where I hear there's a lot of people in DC who like to throw what they do around. And some of the first questions that annoy me about sometimes with people who meet me the first time, what do you do?
Yes.
Yeah.
What do you do? It is the most annoying question, and that makes me want to tell them I'm a rapist, or I'm, or I, what do you want me to? What do you want me to just put everything out there? No, I take that back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not a rapist, but I'm just saying that's one of those things where I just look at them like, okay, this is off to a bad start.
Well, it's a sign of a lack of conversation skills to not be able to find something else more interesting to talk about than what someone does for a living. Mm-hmm. A great comeback that I've heard for that line is when someone asks, "What do you do?" Is what do I do, or what do I get paid to do? I mean, because you can at least separate it from like, who am I, or what do I do for a living? Because that's just so boring, and it's not really a matter of who you are. It says nothing about you, really.
Yeah, I think when you're in a date with someone, I think it's important to put all of the attention onto that person, right? So I think it's important to ask them questions, to give them an opportunity to talk about themselves, to express themselves. And I don't think asking people what they do for work is a bad question. You can learn more about someone very quickly by understanding what it is they do for work or how they earn their living. So, but I think they should definitely keep it to a minimum, right? And so if you ask the question and the person, if they tend to go on and on about their work, that could also send a signal to the person who asked the question, like, well, maybe this person is too busy to date me or too heavily involved in their work where they wouldn't have any spare time to date with me. So I don't think it's a bad thing to ask what people do for their work, but the person should definitely keep it to a minimum. Both parties should definitely keep work talk to a minimum. So I agree with this one.
Yeah, and I'm going to say I agree with it too. Now, let me break it down a little further. If it was the first date, don't ask me. The second date, if I agree to a second date, then that conversation could probably come up for me and I would be more comfortable with it. A first date, no, I wouldn't. But I agree with you, Saladin. I think it should be asked. And I think timing is everything.
Yeah.
And to Vash's point, I'm sure you have more social, you hopefully you have more conversation for me than what do I do for a living.
Right.
So that's so. Number 5 is be curious about your date.
Ask them what they do for a living. No,
Can you provide me the specific details of the duties of your role?
Where do you go shopping? No.
That's a good question. That says a lot about somebody. Yeah, where do you find most of your clothes?
Well, but do you know, for me, what this point meant for me is it says to observe. You don't have to speak on everything. You can observe. I'm going to observe. You're on stage now. You're in front of me. The curtains are up and I'm watching you. And I'm sitting on the front row watching everything that you do. So I'm curious about how you treat the waiter. I'm curious about how you talk to people. I'm curious about how, just your mannerisms and how you're doing things. So this is a good point for me that I totally live by.
Yeah.
That's
the way people treat the servers and bartenders at a restaurant is a huge signal for how they generally communicate with people.
Yeah.
And I worked in the service industry for a long time. When I was in college and also to supplement my income when I was dancing professionally. And I'm very sensitive to the way people talk to servers and bartenders for obvious reasons. And I've been on dates where people spoke to the servers and bartenders like they were trash. And it was a huge turnoff for me.
Yeah. I'm totally against that. There's no reason for you to treat, even if it's bad service, show them what you mean in not leaving them a tip. You know what I'm saying? Or if it's that bad, call over the manager and say that, I'm treated a certain way. Again, I'm watching you. So I'm curious about how you handle, how do you handle chaos? How do you handle when something doesn't go the way you want it to go? Because everybody wants that first date to be nice, but somebody might just spill a drink on you. Are you going to get up and beat the waiter up or the waitress? You know what I'm saying? And so Yeah.
I've learned not to do that. It does not end well for anyone.
What, throw water on people?
Just beating up the waiter.
It's
prison
not a
time.
It's not a look. It's not a good look.
So Bonnie says your self-value is first thing. It's okay to let someone know that your expectation, what your expectations are. No need to waste your time with frivolous stuff. Life is too short. People are full with shenanigans.
Yes, but you can still tell. I agree with what she said, but you can still tell what someone is about and how they present themselves to you. And sometimes people are nervous. Sometimes you're not, things can unfold. People don't necessarily, if you're the right person, you can bring out the best in someone.
Can I say something that I think is just very, it may be minute to some people, but for me, it's also been something that when I think about being curious about my date, when I show up, I'm showing up as Alvin. And I have had some dates who have talked to me, talked to me, they've seen me, but we're talking online. So when I go out, I may have on something that they may get intimidated by, or think that is too much. I'm never not enough. It would make it, for them, it would be like it's too much. And so what I wear has been like it made them uncomfortable. I have been in that situation.
Like, what have you worn that's made somebody feel uncomfortable?
I have the most beautiful custom-made brown leather pants.
Oh my God. Where is Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion when you need them?
I knew it had something to do
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So I'm not saying that in a pretentious way. I'm saying that I have my own sense of style, and so a lot of people don't realize that until I show up.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that means you need to get to know me a little better.
I went on a date, and the guy picked me up, and he had on about 20 bracelets on each arm, and he had on a cashmere poncho that my mother would love, and some velvet Gucci loafers with the G's all over them, and then the car smelled like mothballs. And I was just like, Vasha, was too late for me. It was too late for me to run away. It was too late.
You were in the car.
I was in the car, and I was like, he has on 20 bracelets on each arm, a poncho that my mother would love, and these velvet Gucci loafers with G's all over them. I was like, who am I and what am I doing? Because that's not the person that he presented when we spoke on the phone. In fact, we even did 2 video calls. That's not what he presented. And I'm not shaming men who wear a lot of jewelry. I wear my little ring all the time. If you like jewelry, go for it. But if you're having a virtual dates with someone, an expectation of a face-to-face date, wear your bracelets on a virtual date.
Right.
Because he presented something completely different.
Alvin, you got to wear those leather pants
on your virtual date.
I can't do that. What, Bobby? Thank you so much.
With every bracelet he was putting on, he was like, "Is it too much? No, he's gonna like this one.
He's gonna like
maybe one more."
And we were eating dinner. And I couldn't focus on what he was saying because I could just hear these damn bracelets dangling.
So. Our next, we have 2 more, ladies and gentlemen, of what our experts say that you should know before going on your first date. Go ahead and be vulnerable on the first date. I don't know exactly what that means, and I have to feel I don't agree with that. Not on the first date, not vulnerable. I'm not sure.
This is also a nebulous kind of statement. Like, I wish we had this particular expert on the call so that they could elaborate on be vulnerable.
I think that it means, you can show some emotion. You can talk about something that is emotional or impactful for you. It doesn't have to be all facade and vibrato.
Okay.
I received that from you, Bosh. I do. I received that when you your first sentence said, you know what, it's okay to be a little vulnerable. You don't have to come to the table and like, you know, my dog died last week and start crying. You don't have to do that. You don't have
That's
to
a
do
slow down moment.
that.
Or is
But I
this
get
being
it.
vulnerable? You know, I've been I've been single for a year now, and I've been on several dates, and you know, I really like you, and you know, I would just love for us to be together right from this point on. Is that being vulnerable
That's being needy, pushy,
and
and
thirsty?
thirsty. Yeah, thirsty.
That's being a
Yeah,
lot of things.
yeah.
Okay.
That's too
And
many bracelets. It's
yeah,
too many
it's
bracelets.
too many clanging going on right there. So, okay, the last point, which I think is very important, and I think complete follow up. You know, follow up. If you like the date, follow up. You know, there are certain things, I'm not going to give my highlights away, but there are certain things that you can do to let the date know that you may want to see them again. You know what I'm saying? You know, and it doesn't. Yeah, there are
What's
things
the
you can do.
timing for that? Like
That's my
before the
question as well.
date ends, what's the timing for that? Because I agree with this one, but when do you express, let's say you're on your first date and you're
Mhm.
finishing dinner, you've had dessert, you've had your coffee, maybe you went to another place just to have a nightcap. When do you express the fact that you would like to see the person again? Do you
Before
do
you,
it
I
that
say
night?
before you leave them. I say before you leave them. Thank you. It's been a great date. You know, acknowledgement. You know that type of to me that's one of the love languages. Some
Mhm.
people don't know that they have. Letting them know words of affirmation. Hey, this was a great date.
Right. So
You
what
know,
if,
and
Alvin, we're on a date, the two of us, and I
mhm.
say, you tell me, oh, this has been great. I would love to see you again. You know, when are you available? And I said, I'll get back to you.
Well, because
I'll
it's
let you
me.
know.
Because it's me. I'll not anybody else handle that, but I have this built-in self-confidence thing that, oh, okay, then I'll wait to hear from you. But don't think that there's grass growing up under Alvin's feet. Okay, so I'm gonna be like, okay, I handle rejection in ways like, you know, everybody likes who they want to like. So, you know, if I feel like I walked away from a great day or night, I'm gonna let you know. If they didn't, if that's their way of saying it, you know, then I'll wait to hear from them. But they won't hear from me. They won't hear from me.
What
No.
about you, Vash?
It's never happened.
Work.
I'm sorry.
I mean,
I'm sorry, but that was cute. Okay. And end scene. Okay. And how about you, Saladin? How would you handle it?
It has happened to me. And the way that I've handled it is I'm also a pretty confident person. But I was raised by a single mom.
Mm-hmm.
And so my father and I would have dates every Friday night. And there were times I wanted to see him more than on Friday nights, or I would invite him to a family party. And my mom taught me that people always make time to do what they want to do.
Right.
And I live by that. So if someone says that to me right away, it sends a signal that this is a non-committal person, and I get turned off by statements like that. If you just say to me, "I'll let you know," I'll get back to you. It turns me off. I certainly won't follow up with you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and if the person reaches out to me and I'm still interested, I may or may not go out for a second time. But
Mm-hmm.
that definitely turns me off because it just sends a signal of being non-committal.
Right. Well, okay. Well, Vosh, you have a cheerleader. Cottrell says that, you know, she definitely, you know, she heard you and she got that. So, you know, ladies and gentlemen, those were just 7 tips from our, you know, relationship experts that we found on what you need to do or what you need to know and our opinion for jumping back into the dating pool. So now we have part 2 where we're going to talk about the relationship deal breakers that the experts are saying. And what they meant by this, you can be in a relationship, you know, you can be again living, you can be with your fiance, you can be shacking up with somebody, but if you're involved with them in a romantic, emotional way, this is what they say are deal breakers and you should run. Number one, if there's abuse in the relationship.
What kind of abuse?
Any kind, I'm out.
Any kind.
Any abuse means disrespect. And I think I've shared on this show before, in my therapy, I was raised in a home where there was a lot of dysfunction, and my father would beat my mother. And so I equated hurt with love. And I saw the different types of abuse that are absolutely no way, no how, no way can be in my life. So I'm out.
This is especially important in dating, because when you are dating someone, they are showing you what life is going to be like with them.
Mm-hmm.
So if anything they do that shows anything that you don't want to have in your life for the rest of your life, get out. And abuse is definitely one of them. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that. So the next thing, if your partner treats you like you're a secret.
Enter Atlantic Star.
Secret love.
But as we're laughing, there's a lot of people who like to do that and treat you. But that's really for me, that's not about them. If you allow them to treat you like a secret, then you should be a secret. That's really on the individual in the relationship to me. I think you should think more of yourself than to let someone treat you that way.
And it says a lot about who they are. I mean, why can't they talk about who you are and what your relationship is with the people in their world? I mean,
because they have 3 other families.
We'll see.
Well,
or they're not out, they're in hiding.
All of that.
All of the above, which says X marks the spot.
Exactly.
Out. Third, the number 3 is if plans are constantly canceled.
They're dating someone else.
They're a liar.
Yeah, they are a liar. Yeah, and I'm a man of consistency. So if you're consistent, at canceling the date, canceling plans, then you're out. Okay, I don't need to know nothing else.
We're very social people. So there's always there's a party, there's a performance, and there's a post-performance reception, or there's a gala, and I like to have, especially if I'm dating someone, I like to have him accompany me to some of those things. And if you tell me, oh yeah, I can go to that party with you on October 28th, absolutely. I'm relying on you to be there for me, because I invited you because I don't want to go alone. If you text me or call me 2 hours before the event on October 28th and cancel, it's like you lose credibility, and I lose faith and trust in you. And if it becomes a pattern, that's when I really lose faith and trust in you. But this one I totally agree with 100%.
It's not going to happen too many times. Frank
exactly.
Ara, I think I said that right, said when dating someone, look out for those blink moments, those cracks in the mask that tell more about who's there.
Yep.
Thank you, Frankie. I agree with you on that. If the person has substance abuse problems, the subject matter expert says to leave. I'm going to do again to be in it, but chances are it's not a healthy relationship. I'm out. I'm not going to be a part of that. Not substance abuse problems the way they have it.
This one's tricky. Sorry, really? Vosh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Why is it tricky?
Because I'm not trying to tell nobody's business on he said. But sometimes someone's you really have to pay attention, because sometimes certain people and certain substances, you may not pick up that they're having a substance abuse problem. You really have to pay attention. Like I dated someone who was constantly sniffling all the time. And he was always taking pills, and he told me that he had allergies. but this happened throughout the years.
It's
Right.
winter.
And winter, spring, summer, fall, he was always sneezing and always blaming it on his allergies or something with his nose and then popping the pill. And it wasn't until one particular day, I have to be careful here. I basically was able to prove the point that this person definitely had some substance abuse issues, and it was not allergies at all. And I was always curious as to why is he always sniffling? Why is there something always going on with his nose? Because it became incessant to the point where I'm like, this seems weird. And then something happened where I was able to basically see something and read something that confirmed that it wasn't allergies. It was actually a class A drug that this person was indulging in on a daily basis.
Well, there's two issues there. There's the substance abuse problem, and then there's lying.
Right.
Do not lie to me.
Right.
Because if you lie about one thing, you're going to lie about everything. If you lie about something small, you're going to lie about something big. And if you will lie to me, you will kill me. And I don't need either of those.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, number 5 is your partner isn't faithful. Okay. And that they say that's when you should run.
Who wrote this?
I'm going to say this about partners not being faithful. I'm going to say, I think,
Come on.
I think most people are capable of cheating. And so I'm just going to say that they are capable of cheating. So my thing with the partner who cheats on me, I am not going to get pissed off about you cheating. I'm going to get pissed off that you didn't give me an opportunity to choose. You weren't man enough to tell me that you did it, so I can tell you, oh, okay, well, let's stay in this relationship. I'm going to do it too. Okay, well, see, and so that right there is a tricky for me. It's not as black and white as they say. You know.
Well, the question I have is about this faithful. Is it honest about the fact that they may want to have an open relationship, or is it doing it without giving you the opportunity to make a choice about whether or not you want to be in that relationship?
Say that once again, real quick.
Is it that they are having other partners, or that they're not being upfront with you about it? Well, that's my question about the faithfulness.
It's all the for me. I think it's all the above. I think it's all the above. It's all the above.
Okay. Because I'm interested in I'm not interested in necessarily monogamous relationships all the time, but I would be open and really honest with a partner before it happened, not after it happened.
Right.
Interesting.
Right. Interesting. And one of the things that in terms of what you just said, Vash, some of our experts never alluded to the fact of this new relationship called thruples, which is another topic and another talk show for us. And so they never alluded to that in this. And I know we're running out of time, ladies and gentlemen, and that we have like 14 more things to go. Oh, hey, that's my sis. Hey,
that's your
sis.
Sister.
She said all the above. Her birthday is tomorrow. Hey, sweetheart.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you. My older sister's birthday is tomorrow. My only sister's birthday is tomorrow. So look, I'm going to jump down to, I'm just going to read a couple of things and stop at where we need to start so we can stay on time. Okay. It said, if they fight dirty, and the next one is, you don't feel good about the relationship. Duh.
Trust your gut.
They're showing a lack of interest. If you're on a date, you're on the phone all the time, then that pretty much says that. So you're out. You're not even getting a relationship. You want different things. They're not over their ex.
Ooh.
They're unbelievably selfish.
Ooh.
They're always jealous.
Suppose they're not.
I like a little bit of jealousy.
You like it? You like a little jealousy?
A little bit,
okay.
yeah. I want to know. I want to feel that, it's all about me, and I'm going to make you feel that it's all about you.
Okay. I'm glad you said that. Thank you so much. And I'll tell you about that later. You don't share the same values. And the last point that they're making that you need to know is that you're always, I'm sorry, that's a deal breaker, that you're always fighting. So they say get out of that. So
that.
So
Alvin, can I say one thing before we move on? I think that generally, and not only romantic or intimate relationships, but also with our friendships, I think that we should all really just work. It's very simple. We should work together to avoid unnecessary conflict
I
and
agree.
compromise. We should avoid unnecessary conflict and work to compromise.
I agree with
Yes,
you. Yes.
absolutely.
Mhm.
Communication, commitment, and compromise. Once you got all of those three, your relationship is going to be golden.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to read this one comment from Tyrone Jackson. He said, Dr. Roger, I'm going to say Hodkinson, chairman of the Royal Challenge of Physicians and Surgeons on COVID. This is the biggest hope.
Yeah, I wasn't.
You know, thank you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us on our topic, our discussion tonight. This is a live show, so anything can come up and people can say things. So thank you
I just had
for
a
joining
Chrissy
us
Snow moment.
on our topic tonight. But tonight, we're going to our next segment. We're going to do something that we've done on other people. And we're going to have a segment called Rapid Fire, where we're going to rapid fire each other so you can learn a little bit more about the guys on He Said, He Said, He Said. So take it away. Saladin.
Oh,
Bring it to
okay.
me.
So Vash, if you
Yes.
could have dinner with three people, a 10-course dinner with three people, dead or alive, who would those three people be?
Wow. Jesus, Carol Channing, and Bayard Rustin.
Okay. Who would you marry, kill, or run away with? And run away with. Marry, kill, and run away with.
Do I say the names, or do you give me the people and I tell you whether they would marry, kill them,
No,
or run away with?
you say who you would marry, kill, and run away with.
Wow. Marry, kill, run away with. Wow. Okay. Wow. Marry Mr. Rogers. Kill the Godfather, because then I would inherit everything, and then run away with Sade.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, and what scares you, Vash?
Everything, but I still do it anyway.
Awesome. Okay.
Oh, that was your rapid fire? Oh.
Well, I'm trying. Do I have time for one more?
You have time
Sure.
for one more. Yes.
Okay. Vash, what does success mean to you?
Happiness.
Okay. Have you ever been in love?
Yes.
What's your favorite color?
Any jewel tone, but green especially.
Voguing or breakdancing? Which are you better at?
Ooh. Voguing.
Okay. What's something that you love doing?
Well, how many you got?
Entertaining.
Okay. Okay, that's it.
Cool. Alvin, I'm gonna do you.
You're doing me. Oh, a show like this? Okay.
Yes. All right, ready?
Dance moves.
What's your favorite TV show?
My favorite TV show right now is The Voice.
Have you ever been in love?
Many times.
What would you want as your last meal?
Wow. I would want my smothered pork chops, my collard greens, my cornbread, and my brown rice.
Right on. Boxers, briefs, or jockstrap?
Jock straps.
What's your favorite holiday?
My favorite holiday is, wow. Is my birthday considered that? Is that okay? That's not considered that. My favorite holiday would probably be Thanksgiving.
What's your favorite hour of the day?
My morning, 6 a.m.
Interesting. Last, what's your favorite flower?
My favorite flower are roses.
Lovely. Lovely.
Thank you. Thank you. So you all got to know a little bit more about me. So now I have Saladin. Okay. Are you ready, Saladin?
I-
What are the
Yes.
top three ways you deal with stress?
Exercise, pray, and breathe.
When was the last time you were jealous and why?
My most recent ex, because he would cruise people in front of me.
Oh, okay, okay. If you choose to get married one day, what would your dream proposal scenario be?
My partner would present all of his life insurance paperwork before me, his brokerage account paperwork, and make me the primary beneficiary. We sign everything, and that's it.
That's it. Okay.
Simple.
Simple. Have you ever experienced a friendship breakup, and what did it teach you?
I've experienced several friendship breakups, and it taught me that people change and we constantly evolve, and people come into your life for a season and for a reason.
Would you consider a long distance relationship?
No.
Wow.
Wait, let me stop. Hold on. Wait. For any viewers watching who are single who may think I'm cute and smart and funny, if I can drive to you in 4 to 6 hours, yes. But if I have to fly across the pond, no.
And my last question, my last rapid fire for you is, what is your love language? Are you familiar with love language?
Mm-hmm.
I will give you the five, and you can put them in the order that you like.
Okay.
Words of affirmation, giving gifts, quality time, physical touch, or acts of service.
Physical touch is probably number one for me. Words of affirmation is two. Quality time together is three. What were the other two?
Giving gifts,
Four.
and words of acts of service.
Five.
Oh, acts of service would be number five.
Yeah.
Well,
But
thank you. I'm sorry. Did you answer that?
I did. Yeah.
You did. Okay.
Yeah.
And so it would be. I just want to make sure for our
So
viewers.
physical touch is one. Physical touch is
touch.
one.
Mhm.
Words of affirmation is two.
Mhm.
Quality time is three.
Mhm. Giving gifts.
Giving gifts is no. The other one's four.
Acts of service.
Acts of service is four, and giving gifts is five.
Okay. Thank you guys for rapid fire. I hope, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you learned a little bit more about us. And Alma, what is Alma talking about?
How many pairs of shoes do you have, huh? How many pairs of shoes do you have?
I don't know. And Vosh, what's your favorite meat?
Pork. Saladin, what's your favorite professional dancer?
Oh my God, I have so many favorite dancers. I can't even start.
Well, you better start because you got 30 seconds. Okay.
Oh, my favorite dancer. Oh my God. David Hallberg from American Ballet Theater.
My God.
See, that was a rapid fire. Thank you, Alma. Thank you for joining us tonight. That was Alma from the Ask Alma show on Tuesday nights right here on NNPA, ladies and gentlemen. You got to check her out every Tuesday at 7 p.m. So we're about to wrap up the show, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you all for joining us tonight. I want to give you our words of the week. And tonight we're telling you that one day someone will walk into your life and make you see why you never worked out with anyone else. And that is by an unknown person that has said that. We're going to close the night, ladies and gentlemen, honoring and paying tribute to the late Colin Powell, who died this week on Monday of COVID-related illness, ladies and gentlemen. He was considered revered by many, a warrior, a diplomat, an honorable man, an iconic man, a teacher and mentor. So, ladies and gentlemen, please lift the family of Colin Powell, and we will keep him and his family in prayer. Ladies and gentlemen, Thank you for joining us tonight, ladies and gentlemen, and we will see you next week for another episode of He Said.
He said.
He said.
You guys have a great weekend, and thank you again for joining us. Bye now.
Thank
Good
you.
night.